Can you see that? That's our bee colony. And they're very robust, been there as long as I know. And we're hoping one day to get them down to earth so that we can get to some of that honey. So we've bought a beehive and got to get it painted and put out. And then we'll wait for the bees to swarm and hopefully capture them and get them put over there in the chicken yard. Got a place picked out for them. And while we're waiting on that, I'm working on a stand, and I've been reading up on it because I'm a newbie at beehives, beekeeping, and I'm worried about ants. We have a lot of ants here, and they tend, because the water table is so high, they tend to build up, and after a rain you'll just see ant hills just appear and they move around, and so I'm worried about that. And I was looking online at some of the ideas for keeping ants out of your beehive, and one of them was to take 4-inch PVC caps and put them facing down on each leg, and then coat the inside, the downside, with axle grease. And that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to test it to see if it works. Now, I'm not building, per se, a stand. Instead, I've got this old shower bench that was my dad's before he died, and it's just been sitting back there because I hate throwing anything away, because I just knew sooner or later I'd find a use for it, and I have. So these little pieces, these caps, are going to go on each one of these legs and coated with the axle grease like we said, and hopefully that is going to be a really good ant-proof beehive stand. Here's another shot of it as it will sit, and again, you coat the bottom with axle grease, and supposedly it's going to make this thing ant-proof. And the axle grease should stay a long time, as opposed to some other oils or greases which will dissipate. So let's get this thing built, and then we're going to put something sugary up there, and we're going to go stick this thing in an anthill and leave it for a few days and see what happens. Alright, got all the caps on. We used a 1-inch bit and kept it really tight because we don't want to leave a lot of space there for ants to possibly find another way in. And now what we're going to do is throw some gloves on, and we're going to coat the inside and the flange here of each one of these with the grease. Alright, I got derailed to fix the lawnmower, but I'm back at it, and I think this is the ant bed that we are looking for. So what we're going to do, we've got these fine snacks, peanut butter, little Nature Valley trail mix, and if that don't work, pixie sticks. And I'm going to set this right over it, one leg right in the ant bed. See, they're already heading up it. And we're going to put these snacks here. Then I'm going to have to go tell my wife that she can't mow here, and that's going to make her mad. But this is for science, right? Okay, let me get these snacks laid out. We'll see what happens. All right, the trap is baited. I even put a little bit of pixie sticks on the top of each one of the PVC pieces. So we got the ants in there, and they're already mad and exploring. So let's leave it a while and see what happens. I'm hoping that we'll have an answer today. But you know, science will take as long as science takes. All right, it's the next morning, and walking past the gazebo project out here to check the status of our beehive stand, our supposedly ant-proof beehive stand. Well, the cookies and the trail bar are gone. The cookies I know because Scout ate them last night when we were out on our walk. And the trail mix bar, I got a feeling I know who did that. Okay, so here we are. Now those are some tiny ants, and they're above the line, but that's not the same ants as live there. I find that interesting. See how tiny those ants are? Those are like little sugar ants, I think they call them. Or are they ants? Yeah, they look like ants. But these guys, the ones that live here, the one whose nest that I plopped this thing down into, are not the same ants. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, look at there. Those ants are all dead. Okay, there's ants up here. See them? They're tiny ants, but they're ants nonetheless. And as far as I know, an ant's an ant's an ant as far as bees go. No progress over here. Only on this one. I find it very interesting. So tiny little sugar ants, not the ants that we actually are standing in, made it in. Why did they make it in? And on this one over here, where I accidentally left a stain of the grease, the ants are dead. They're all clumped up and dead. Very interesting. So I flopped it over, and again, you can see these ants just died in mass, like Chi-Com soldiers in the Korean War. I wonder if they eat the grease and the grease kills them, or what happens. I mean, I knew it was supposed to repel them, but this seems to have done more than that. Now look at there. Look at that line. It's just a line of dead ants. Tiny sugar ants. Not these guys. Very interesting. So, I don't really know what this tells us. I mean, sure, the big ants that I was trying to attract didn't make it up. But what's it matter? These guys did. You can see them right there. However, over here they died. So is the answer that we have to coat even more, maybe even the legs down here with the grease? I can do that. I can do that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and post this, and hopefully somebody out there with more intelligence than me, shouldn't be hard to do, can speak to this. But I'm also going to go ahead and put it back up with the new pixie sticks and try to attract these big ants. See what happens.